Hello, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about Ephesians 6:10 through 18. Now, I do have this prayer remembered by my mind, and I said it in a YouTube short, but basically this prayer is a very good prayer to help connect you more to God. Now, when would you ever pray this prayer? I recommend you guys to pray it 3 times a day. 3 times a day. So what's good about this prayer is, and people don't even realize how strong the prayer is, this prayer puts armor on you spiritually. Now, you have to think about what other people have put on you spiritually. People can put black magic on you, and it can follow you. The one comment let me talk about this comment real quick, because I understand when people say it, but it's not what you say. People say, baby, I'm just gonna pray. I'm just gonna pray. So when you pray to God and you tell someone else to just pray, that, if you've ever read the Bible at all, there's no case scenario as to where you don't do anything at all after not. Let me say this correctly. There's no case scenario as to when you just throw your weight onto God and you don't contribute in any way. And I mean, there's actually no case scenario. There's a bunch of scenarios in the Bible, but when you just there are some scenarios, but it doesn't go well. So there's no case scenario as to when it goes really well, where you just throw your weight onto God and become luggage without handles onto the Lord, which that's a very scary term to some people. In the Bible, where you just pray and then God will just do whatever you want. No, that's not it. That's a very ugly thing to do. So when you say to someone, I'll just pray, there's some things where you'll do before, and there's some things where you'll do after. So James 2:17 to 18 basically states that you can't just pray. Prayer without works, or faith without works, is dead, which means it's not alive. It doesn't happen like that. You cannot say to God, get out of bed for me. I'm just going to pray. I'm just going to pray, have a good day, and I'm not going to leave my bed. I'm going to pray that stuff gets done, and I'm not going to do anything. That's disrespectful. So when it comes to you praying, you take action. But for people who want to just pray, you better just pray. You better just pray this whole prayer every day. Because if there's one prayer you were to just pray, this just pray prayer works a lot. That comment does. It's really, it's a lot of young people saying that, or it's a lot of people who are not really that close to God who just say, just pray, because they don't actually do that themselves. Those people just worry in their free time and don't really, I mean, you can't just pray. You really can't. In the Bible, God said, okay, he told people, I'm telling you to burn some frankincense and myrrh. I'm telling you to build a tabernacle. I'm telling you to make, basically to take gemstones and put them over your chest over the priests that I'm going to have working for me. Basically, God and I said basically a lot. I'm thinking of scenarios. It's too many scenarios. So God will, okay, instead of basically, I'll say one scenario. Abraham. Did Abraham just pray? No, God said, get up over here and go over there. You don't have to, but you can if you'd like. And this video is heavily on just pray, because if you just pray this prayer, a whole lot happens. A lot happens. So if you were to just pray any prayer, pray this prayer. So, of course, the Lord's Prayer, you should pray multiple prayers together, but this prayer is so strong. So, if God said to Noah, if God said to Noah, build the ark, and he says, no, I'm going to just pray. Or if Noah said, I'm just going to pray versus building the ark, maybe something will happen where someone builds the ark, we'd all be not here. But basically, you have to understand, we don't just pray, but this prayer is something that you can just pray and a whole lot happens. I hope you understand the concept of that in this video. It's a mouthful, but finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. So it's basically saying God is super strong. Jesus is super strong. Be strong in the Lord, because you can be outside of the Lord, or you can be in the Lord. take your stand against the devil's schemes. Now, the devil's scheming all the time. The devil, everyone has, okay, this is going to freak someone out. Everyone has at least one demon. This is why I don't like teaching about demons. Everyone has one demon in prayer mode on them 24/7. This prayer will stop that demon's prayers. It's way more than one, but I'm not trying to freak you guys out because it will scare you. Because the devil does nothing but pray. The devil has a plan for you, but God has a plan for you. So follow God's plan. You can make the devil's plan crumble with this prayer. If I were to tell you right now you had things around you that you didn't know were hurting you, you would remove them right away. But 9 out of 10 times you guys don't know until it's too late or until God removes it himself. Now, that's a really powerful statement. Yes, it is. So this prayer, because imagine if, let's just say there's something in the dark and you couldn't see it. This prayer kills the thing in the dark. That's a threat. But if there's something in the dark that is supposed to be coming towards you, it'll bring that towards you. Period. So, finally be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle, and this is where it gets interesting, because people are like, oh, spirituality, that's demonic. That person's not a Christian at all. That's a fake Christian. That's a false prophet, whatever you want to call it. Once they say that your problems are not spiritual, a doctor will tell you your problems are not spiritual. They go directly against the Bible. They're a part of what you're praying against. Most doctors are just looking for your wallet. They don't care about your well-being. I'll say that on this video, I don't care. So, in essence, for our struggles, okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. Finally be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against the flesh and blood. What does that mean? It's not physical. It's not fully physical. Nothing's fully physical. Your flesh is a spiritual aspect of physicality, physical reality. So our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers. Against the authorities. Against the powers of this dark world and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. If I was a spiritual force of evil in the heavenly realms, I would aim for who? The top of the people of the society. Singers, songwriters, leaders of every country, doctors, people who are supposed to help other people. The most important people. If you read it a little bit backwards, it makes a whole bunch of sense. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood. It has nothing to do with, oh, that person's next to me. I don't know who that person is. Maybe they'll act accordingly to how I think they'll act. They'll just behave. No, what if that person has spirits? You wear some stone manolete necklaces. Yeah, it actually works like that. Then they'll run away. So our problem has nothing to do with flesh and blood. Nothing's with the physical world. It's just illusions. It's all veils. Flesh is a veil. That's the only secret I'll teach in that video. This video, I mean. But your flesh is a veil. The spirit is fleshed in a flesh veil. Yeah. So the only way to peel the veil is through Jesus. Now, I'd like you to ask yourself, and I can't talk about this whole prayer on this video. In the future, I'll talk about it more, but our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers. Against the authorities. I wonder who the authorities are. I wonder. Against the powers of this dark world. The Bible said that this is a dark world. Period. We're close to heaven and we're close to hell at the same time. It's dark. And against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God. This prayer just gives you an explanation as to why you have to put on the full armor. You literally have all these different opponents that you don't know are working against you. All these brands. Everything, I actually can't talk about that on here. I cannot talk about that. I almost went into it, but everything you see in a store, every company behind, that's the most I can say. someone's working on those products. Everything you ever see is being worked on. Those street lights, do you know what's inside of them? Like everything, every little tiny thing is being worked on by the devil. Oh, that's paranoia. If you knew how hard the devil worked because the devil knew the devil's time was up, then you'd fully understand. And it's unfortunate. You see, I mean, that's the most I'll say in this prayer, is you guys have to understand the devil's at active work because the devil's on a schedule. The devil's like, okay, the time's running out. We got to do everything. That part of the prayer just told you to pray the whole prayer because our problems are spiritual. So that's one thing. I have to make more videos about this prayer because it's too strong. It is way too strong to talk about in general. Yeah, I'm gonna make more videos on this. Stay tuned in my future videos. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. There will be part 2s and 3s of this. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. It would be nice if someone put the whole prayer in the description. Sure. God bless all of you. Ciao.